The Call of Duty Next event was today, and we got our first look at Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2. And there was a lot of information that came out from this whole series of things that happened today. Uh, Obviously, the most important for me comes in the scheme of things for Warzone 2 and some of the details that came along with that. They did show us a bit of a trailer, a bit of gameplay. There was some of the creators that managed to get to play some of it today. And I'm just going to have some of this running a little bit in the background here while we're talking about it. But this is the first drop into the brand new map for Warzone 2. And it's showing a bit of the vehicle combat and things like that. There are AI, there are a new vehicle, there is water traversal. There is all sorts of things going on here in this trailer. And this trailer features a lot of things that are both cool and a bit worrisome. One of which is this drone, this explosive drone that this guy is holding. It looks like the C4 drone. If you've played, any of, I think it's what, Clash. They have the C4 drones that kind of fly around sometimes and explode. And if you've played Battlefield 2042, they've made these by just allies flying drones with C4 attached to them. You see it taking out a helicopter here and things like that. There is a lot of stuff that really kind of goes on in this trailer. If you want to watch it, they have it live on the Call of Duty YouTube as well. I'll put a link for it down below. You're seeing boat fights and machine guns on these boats, and a lot of the they talk again about the Gunsmith 2.0. We made a video about it yesterday, and it's pretty straightforward. We had some friends get to go in and play the likes of Westy and Broken, and more of our friends got to go in and play it today, and they've had a few different key points about what they enjoy. Westy made some notes today on his Twitter saying that the AI seems to be everywhere despite just the strongholds. There is no more loadout drops. You actually purchase your loadouts from the buy stations now, or you can earn a loadout token essentially enough from completing strongholds. And the map is massive, and they said it feels a bit slower pace. One of the things I didn't see any info on, but I was a little confused, the beginning of the drop shows 5 people falling in, but I imagine we're not going to be seeing 5 players on a squad. It'll probably be 4 again, as always. And they basically said early on today that all of the stuff that you see in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is going to be available in Warzone 2 as well. And that is including things like cameras you can throw up and watch, and explosive mines that fire through walls. If you haven't seen those, it's basically a throw mine that when it connects to something, it explodes on the other side of it. That means no more people hiding behind walls, hiding above you in buildings and stuff like that. It's going to make it significantly harder to hold down a zone, especially if people have that sort of thing. Another thing to note is they said that there are no perks coming out on launch. With no loadouts means that there are no perks for your loadouts. You can only purchase your customized guns from these stations. I honestly think that that's probably a good idea, as a lot of the perks create the imbalance that we have in the game. Most of you know that I'm not a huge fan of riot shields, and I think restock is a bit busted. Serpentine and Combat Scout are also busted, as they all provide really extremely game-breaking things that are just accepted now because they're perks. But without perks, you don't run into the issue of restock or overkill even, which means that there's no longer the ability to just have 2 extremely overpowered weapons all the time. And with the purchasing them from the buy stations, you're no longer going to be able to have 2 really quickly as well, unless you obviously get enough to buy 1 and then complete a stronghold, or 2 purchases, which we don't have any prices on it yet that I've seen. And of course, the versions that they played today were alpha, so you're not going to see a lot of players having a lot of that stuff as well. You're going to see that there is a large variety of options of things to be found in the game, and with the looting system, Wesley was saying today, it's a bit clunky still. And again, they were playing in alpha, so I'm not too terribly surprised by that. Alpha gameplay is usually a bit clunky, and they have plenty of time to work on that. Hopefully that works out well for us in the long run, as we really don't need another Warzone that's busted. You know, that's no fun. One of the big things that I saw that was very interesting today is the DMZ mode that was finally announced. is part of Warzone. So it was one of my concerns early on that the DMZ mode would be locked behind the Modern Warfare 2, and it's not. It's actually part of the Warzone stuff, which I think is a really smart move. Warzone is free to play. DMZ being an extension of Warzone 2.0 means that more people can play it and more people can have access to it, which means it's less likely to die out, which was a concern of mine. Anytime any new game mode is locked behind a paywall, you generally see a low adoption rate, which means less players. Less players means longer matchmaking. Longer matchmaking means less players again, and it just kind of dies out. It's what happened to Battlefield 5's Firestorm, and thank goodness the DMZ mode won't be locked behind that. Will it still die out? It might. I don't know. We'll see. It's basically depends on how well it's tailored to the Call of Duty franchise rather than just being another extraction shooter, similar to something like The Division, Tarkov, or Dr. Disrespect's upcoming Dead Drop game. With that being said, I'm excited for it because honestly, that gives us more options for how we play the game, and it means that Warzone has, more things it can do. There has always been plunder. There has always been clash and all those style game modes, and I think that this gives you a new, more tactical approach. And they're essentially enough catering to all the different styles of gameplay now. When you offer something like an extraction shooter where you can go in and choose to be against other players or choose to be against other AI or choose to just go in and kind of hang out with your friends, that's really great. And then Warzone is apparently being split off into multiple end circles now, which means that there's more time. It's a slower game mode. Although slower game mode doesn't always mean the most, isn't always necessarily the best, as the player base is going to be used to faster games. And if you extend the game modes too long, people will get bored with them, or they'll become exceedingly frustrated on a loss. If you lose a game at 15 minutes, it's significantly easier to get back into another one knowing it's at 15 minutes compared to if every game is 35, 45 minutes, and then it takes longer to get into a game and longer to lose again. And that was one of the issues that a lot of people had early on with PUBG versus when things like Warzone and Apex came out. Warzone and Apex were faster games. PUBG was a lot slower, and it became frustrating, especially to die and sit there and wait for your teammates for a 40-minute game to end up losing it, So if the Warzone games become too long, drug out, then I imagine it's going to cause more of a backlash than it will be a rewarding feel when you win. And with the multiple circle thing, I think that's really cool, but at the same time, you never know whenever those multiple circle situations may actually cause more game stress than it might be worth. Imagine you are the one team on one circle who manages to clear and survive, and you're on a cliffside, and then the other two teams are forced to have to come up to you on the cliffside. Well, now, because they got pinched off in the separate circles, they're basically been given the unfavorable circle. And circles are already hard enough to deal with as it is already, and learning them and predictability and adjusting for them. So now with 3 circles to have to adjust for at any given time and any given round, it creates a level of unpredictability. And battle royales are RNG enough as it is, random number generator. They're more random than most other game titles, and unpredictability causes people to become a bit less willing to accept things that happen. I don't know. People usually chalk it up to luck, and people don't like having luck be with or against them most of the time. They like to kind of feel like that they did something. So I could foresee where this multiple circle thing could cause more issues than it might be worth. Now, obviously, we're going to continue to cover all of this Warzone, Modern Warfare 2 stuff. The beta is going to be today. By the time you all are watching this, it'll be coming out today. And if I can get on it, I'll be in it. And if not, then we'll continue to cover more of this information and go over really what's going on and try to get you all what we can as early as we can. I'm going to try to give it just a unbiased overview, try to see things that I think I'll like, things you all might like, things that might not work out, things that might work out, and all of that other stuff. We have videos here daily on the channel. If you enjoy them, feel free to drop a sub on the channel as we'll continue to cover more. And we stream here 7 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing the games, doing things, living life, and we talk about stuff gaming related, food related, and just have ourselves a good time. Thank you all so much for checking out the video. I will see you all again soon. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.